Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Generations of fans making their way to Busch Stadium, home of the Cardinals, and tonight they'll play host to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona struggling to start this season, 10 games below 500, although Paul Goldschmidt in their lineup tonight is not. Big sluggers on fire. The highest winning percentage against the Diamondbacks all time. They began play back in 1998. That belongs to St. Louis. And Jason Mott has been activated. He's ready to go tonight in the Cardinals' pen. Speaking of a bullpen, that's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. My name is Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us. It'll be interesting to see how Mike Matheny uses Jason Mott here early on.
Well, usually you don't want to bring a guy off the disabled list and put him in a high-leverage situation. But that may be the case here tonight. Rosenthal is not available, so it would not surprise me if we saw Jason Mott in the ninth inning.
Well, it's Bronson Arroyo. We saw him a bunch with Cincinnati, getting the start for the Diamondbacks. Adam Wainwright, the ace of the staff for St. Louis. Baseball coming up. 30-game streak of reaching base hit home. Berkman, Pujols has done that 3 different times. But Holiday at number 30, and a good chance to extend it to 31 because he'll face Bronson Arroyo. Long history between these two, St. Louis and Cincinnati. Now Arroyo is with Arizona. Matt Holiday, our BJC Healthcare difference maker. First pitch next. As the Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Adam Wainwright getting the start tonight. Adam off to a very good start at 6-2 with an ERA that's just above 2. Now the other side, Bronson Arroyo 4-2 with an ERA that is just over 4. And Arroyo struggled early on but has been pitching very, very well. A live look at Wainwright taking to the mound for St. Louis. And away we go. Game number 1 of this 3-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kirk Gibson is their manager, the World Series hero with Detroit and with the Dodgers. Gerardo Parra will lead things off. Then Chris Owings, Paul Goldschmidt. Decent numbers against St. Louis. Miguel Montero, he's a workhorse behind the plate. Martin Prado, A.J. Pollock, a speedster. Then Cody Ross, Cliff Pennington, and the pitcher Bronson Arroyo against Adam Wainwright of St. Louis. Our Kia starter, Adam Wainwright, seeking to become the National League's second 7-game winner. The other is Zach Greinke of the Dodgers. And Allie's working on 6 days rest.
That's right. If it wouldn't have been for a blown save, he would have already won that 7th game. But that's part of being a team. And Adam Wainwright kind of owns Busch Stadium 3. He is the winningest pitcher here with 55 wins and a .266 career average, or ERA. Good off day. Good timing for the off day yesterday. I think this team's going to come out and just put what happened on Sunday aside and come out here and continue to play good baseball in this homestand.
Parra is one of 2 lefties in this lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's hitting .273 with 4 home runs, and he's driven in 14. Crew chief tonight is Brian O'Nora. He's calling balls and strikes. Doug Eddings down at first. Marvin Hudson at second. And Corey Blazer is at third.
Ari's got a 12-game road hitting streak going.
That'll slice foul and out of play.
Got very good speed. He's a very good defensive outfielder, particularly throwing wise. And that's kind of a little indication of how he hits. A slap hitter. This ball club kind of, they feel pretty good when they're on the road, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The home record has been not what they expected. Now, 2 of the losses that they had that go to the home record were against the Dodgers in Australia when they opened up the season at the very end of spring training. There's a ground ball that's pulled foul.
They're 6-18 playing in their home ballpark with those 2 losses in Australia. Kirk Gibson's seen his team 2 games over 500 when they're on the road. A lot of their problems were early with the pitching staff. Starting to iron those out, and nobody better example than that than tonight's starter for the Diamondbacks and Bronson Arroyo.
A curveball that's over Wainwright. Charging on the play. Colton Wong. Fine play by the Cardinals second baseman Colton Wong. As we take a look at the Redbirds defense tonight, Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Holiday, Jay, Craig, 197 games as an outfielder in his career, no errors. And Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Adams along the infield. Yadier Molina is behind the plate.
And we've seen that. We've seen Craig out in left field an awful lot last year, even a couple times this year, but he's a fine outfielder.
A high strike to the young shortstop Chris Owings. Even though the Diamondbacks are 10 games under 500, they've won 7 of their last 11. And in that time, their offense is in the top 5 of most categories.
Well, they scored 18 runs on Saturday. That'll help out that issue. And Goldschmidt had a great game. He was 4 for 4, pair of doubles, 2 home runs, scored 5 runs, and drove in 6.
It's a pretty good game.
Second last year in the MVP battle of the.
And there's a call, third strike. So for Paul Goldschmidt, according to the Elias Sports Bureau, 4 extra base hits, 6 RBIs, 5 runs scored. That performance made him just the 4th player over the last 50 years to do that. Willie Stargell, Jeff Cirillo, Sean Green did it. A-Rod did it with the Yankees. And Goldschmidt on the first pitch hits it out of play. And that was a game that was started by Clayton Kershaw.
Obviously, he didn't finish it, but go to the ballpark and you're thinking, oh, you're probably going to take an over. You had a pitcher of that caliber against you, and you never know what's going to happen in this great game of baseball.
Diamondbacks were 500 a year ago as Goldschmidt falls behind 0-2. And if you look at any different type of metrics to have a look at just how great his season was, arguably it was the best offensive season of anybody in the National League.
Tied for the league lead in home runs at 36.
Off-speed pitch is in the dirt. 20 of those 36 home runs put his team ahead. That's a telling stat when you think about a guy that hits for power and able to put his team on top.
125 RBIs.
Molina sets up outside, and the 1-2 pitch hits his spot, and a call, third strike on Paul Goldschmidt. That baseball tonight is brought to you by Bud Light. Reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Mid-America Chevy dealers to take advantage of Truck Month offers on the all-new Chevy Silverado. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. It's a beautiful night for Game 1 of this series. I had the honor of emceeing the ribbon cutting of the Stand the Man Bridge, the opening. It was about 5 degrees that day, so it's warmed up. It's starting to heat up here in St. Louis. A look at Mike Matheny's lineup with Carpenter, Wong, then Holiday, Adams, Molina, Craig, Peralta, Jay, and the pitcher Adam Wainwright. An old friend, Bronson Arroyo, gets the start for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, you see his numbers on the year, but what you really have to know is what he's done the last 3 starts. He's 3-0 with a 0.39 ERA. He only threw 7 innings in spring training. He was down here with a back injury. He's had back surgery in the past. Only threw those innings. Then he started pitching. When the season started, he tried to make his starts at the big league level. Kind of came down with an infection. They weren't sure if it was valley fever. And now he's kind of worked his way out. His last 4 starts have been very good. The last 3 exceptional. And coming off a complete game victory over Strasburg in the Nationals.
That's outside, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Previous shot we had, you could see the glare of the sunshine and the buildings across the street. There's a strikeout of Matt Carpenter. Carpenter strikes out for the 39th time this year.
Sun shining there, and we have noted that in some of the games, it's not a factor tonight, but some of the games the right fielder has had a tough sun field. But maybe those people in the second deck are suffering a bit, but not the players.
There's an off-speed pitch, grounded to second. That ball stays down on Cliff Pennington, and he makes the play. I'm not sure if that hit the lip of the grass, but it did stay down. A little tricky hop, and there's 2 away. A look at the Diamondbacks defensively with Ross, Pollock, and Parra. This is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. 3rd most in the National League with 36 errors. Prado, Owings, Pennington, Goldschmidt, and Miguel Montero is behind the plate.
A little idea, that's 12 more errors than the Cardinals. Cardinals got off to a very shaky start defensively, but they have really tightened things up of late, playing very good defense.
Pitch at 79 miles an hour from Bronson Arroyo. He's got the high leg kick. He'll throw from all different types of arm angles, the variations of his breaking ball. As Holiday lines it into center field for a 2-out base hit.
5-game hitting streak for Matt. He continues to hit Bronson Arroyo very well, and he also continues to get on base here playing at home. Bronson, good thing he got down underneath this one. Line drive right back up the middle. Throw that ball, you better be in a good fielding position, or at least be able to duck.
Well, Matt Adams only 4 walks this season, but he and Yadier Molina lead the club in hits. They both have 51, and Matt with 18 multi-hit games.
Walks may be tough to come by for both sides tonight. 2 good control pitchers.
In the air, right center. Pollock is back, looks up, it's gone. 2-0 St. Louis. Matt Adams with home run number 3.
Everybody's been wondering, where's the power of Matt Adams? Wainwright has to like that. Real efficient inning for Adam. Then his team gets him a couple runs and still batting here. 2-out rallies are a nice thing to come by.
The month of May, just the 5th Cardinal home run. That snaps a long ground for St. Louis, and it brings in Yadier Molina, who's hitting .327. Matt Adams is now 2 for 3, and those 2 hits, home runs off of Bronson Arroyo.
And doubled his output. He's up to 4 RBIs against Arroyo. It was the 6th home run Arroyo has allowed.
And Molina shoots it foul. A happy fan in the bleachers in right center thanks to Matt Adams.
Look at that pitch right there. Way outside, but he showed it, telegraphed it, and a nice catch, sort of. Good effort by Pollock.
Molina chops it to third. That's a fair ball. Martin Prado across the diamond. Matt Adams. 2 runs, you never know with Wainwright. Maybe that's enough. The big man sends one over the wall here at Busch. 2-0 after an inning of play. Matt Adams, a 2-run shot, and it's 2-0 St. Louis. Montero, Prado, and A.J. Pollock as we check in with Jim.
And Danny, Jason Mott could be pitching tonight for the first time in a long time. He's trying to downplay any emotion that could be tied to making it all the way back. But he did tell me that it hit him when he was driving to the ballpark earlier today, that this may be it. He could pitch tonight. And obviously the return of Mott could be a boost to a bullpen that's seen a lot of action of late. Mike Matheny said Randy Choate may be the most pleased with Mott's return. Mike said with all the youngsters in the pen. Matheny says Choate kind of feels like he's teaching kindergarten. But Dan, now there's another veteran presence out there.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Montero. And a fly ball that is lifted into center for out number 1. 4 up and 4 down. And Jim, when you take a look at the potential role of Jason Mott, the immediate future, meaning tonight with Rosenthal, we know, unavailable. We talked about it in the open. Is there potential that you would see him in a high leverage situation late in this game, the 8th or 9th inning?
Well, Dan, as you know, Mike Matheny doesn't really like to telegraph his plans. All he's saying is that Mott will be used probably an inning, maybe less, and they're going to evaluate how he did and how he feels afterwards. Right now, Mike Matheny very clear, no role for Jason Mott. But I agree, especially with Rosenthal not available, they're going to need arms. And Jason Mott told me he's eager to get in there and get that first appearance over with. And Mott also says Any time Matheny needs him, he's glad to go in the game. He just wants to try to help his team win because it's been a while that he's had the chance to do that, Dan.
Off-speed pitch is hit to short. Martin Prado is out number 2. And Jim, a final question. We know that Mott is an emotional guy. How emotional, in your opinion, you know him quite well, how emotional do you think he'll be tonight if he gets out on that mound?
Well, I think the crowd's going to go nuts, and I think he's going to feel the emotion inside. I don't think he's going to show it. He told me he's been trying to keep it under control and just act like this was another day of going to the ballpark, although he realized this could be his return to big league baseball tonight, Dan.
All right, Jim, good stuff. A.J. Pollock will be the hitter with 2 outs and nobody on for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Breaking ball, and Wainwright looks sharp here early on.
Well, the best scenario could be that Adam Wainwright is Adam Wainwright. That means he'll go 7. And wouldn't that be nice? 5 straight starts for a Cardinal starter goes 7 innings.
I would think the best case scenario for Jason Mott would be a non-high leverage situation. Get him back acclimated to big league baseball. Get your feet wet with one of those appearances, and then take the training wheels off, so to speak, and let him loose.
Well, that's the ideal situation, but Mike Matheny and Jason Mott knows that it doesn't always work that way. And so you could see him in a high leverage situation.
Popped up, right side, and out of play.
See what the Cardinals starters have done the last 4 times through the rotation. Interesting that Adam Wainwright, his last time, only went 6 innings. But that was because there was a scoring opportunity, a close game, a pinch hit for him. But he was dealing like he's doing tonight.
3rd strikeout for Adam Wainwright. Pollock looking for something else. Midway through 2. Birds on top.
Even though they're 10 games under 500, 2 games over 500 on the road, and they got a good and a hot pitcher in Arroyo going tonight. With Rosenthal unavailable, the best thing they could do is have Adam pitch a great game, go deep into the contest, but really have the offense just light up the Arizona pitching staff and just make it a very relaxed first appearance for a Jason Mott or the entire bullpen, and just have another complete game, which we saw 2 of them of the 3 over the weekend were outstanding team efforts.
Bottom half of the 2nd inning. 2-0 St. Louis, and a strike dealt to Allen Craig.
It's a strike zone that is designed for these 2 pitch makers. Looks like it's a big strike zone, and these guys can exploit it.
Here's the 0-1. And a ground ball that's hit to second. Cliff Pennington One away. Time now for you to tweet your photo using the hashtag STLFanPhoto. And we'll unveil one of those photos later in our telecast. If you had the chance to see the work done by Bernie Miklasz of the Post-Dispatch, but he went back and really dissected the ninth inning of the loss on Sunday, and he did a great job in terms of looking at the numbers and where the big three rank in terms of how much usage they have gotten. It's Segrist, Martinez, and Rosenthal. Rosenthal 7th in the league in pitches thrown by relievers. Segrist 18th, Martinez 34th. So a very well done piece by Bernie at STLtoday.com. And you start hearing those numbers, you get a little concerned with the young pitchers. So Mott steps in. We'll see how much he's going to throw.
I think it also, if you can get the great work from the rotation, that'll take pressure off the bullpen also. If they start consistently going 7 innings, then you're not going to have that wear and tear on the bullpen. So it's a big strike zone, so hitters will expand their strike zone. And Arroyo, we always talk about him as the guy that he will invent to pitch on the mound if he needs something, a new wrinkle, a new twist. John Jay's in the lineup tonight because he has good numbers against Arroyo.
First pitch is a strike. 378 average against this right-hander. 14 hits at 37 at-bats with a pair of doubles, a triple, a home run. He's only struck out 5 times against him. The 0-1.
Mike Matheny was asked about Jay's insertion.
And he shoots it into left center. That ball will get down. Extra bases for John Jay. And now the Cardinals have one of their best hitters coming to the plate.
That's right, but Mike Matheny was asked why not Borges, and he said there's just purely a numbers. The numbers that John Jay has put up against Arroyo dictate that he's in the lineup, and he validates his manager right here. Are the Cardinals going to have another 2-out rally?
Adam Wainwright is hitting .381. No home runs, pair of RBIs, 8 for 21 this season.
One of his goals is to win the Silver Slugger, the best hitting pitcher in the National League, and he's off to a good start.
Montero asking Arroyo to step off the pitching rubber. Runner at second is John Jay with 2 down. First pitch to Wainwright, now Montero. They want to make sure they get on the same page.
Did we talk about, with a man on second base, which sign we're going to go to, or should we get it straightened out right now? All the starters are in a little bit of a game about who's the best hitting pitcher. Friendly rivalry.
And that's strike 1. Adam has been given a 2-run lead thanks to Matt Adams. If you're just joining us, a 2-out 2-run homer back in the bottom of the first. And for Adams, his 3rd this year. It's sharply to third, taken by Martin Prado. Coming up, we'll have a guest that is doing something for our veterans. It's something we hope that you'll take part in. Segs for Vets. That's next. of Segs for Vets. SEGS, the number 4, and then Vets. And that is Jerry Kerr. And always good to see you, sir.
Dan, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
You have an important role in society in that you are helping our veterans, the men and women that protect us when they come back home from combat, and those that may have lost limbs, lost legs, and you're able to help them move, literally something we take for granted. Tell us what this is all about.
You know, Dan, there isn't really anything more important to be done than the men and women who've served us to make sure that they have the tools that they need when they come home to interact in society, regain a purpose-filled life. And you know, we've awarded more than 1,200 Segways already, but we have a ton of work to do. Getting them back up, get them re-engaged with their families, getting re-engaged with society, and getting them out there and having a great life.
There's a strike to Cody Ross. He didn't like that call. Jerry, how did it all start for you?
Well, you know, we started this after I broke my neck in 1998 and was in a wheelchair for 5 years, and then we got an opportunity to use a Segway, and from that realized what it would do for me and what it did for me, returned my independence and quality of life, and wanted to give one away, and all of a sudden it kept growing and growing. Gosh, we didn't think we'd be in this business this long. Didn't think we'd give away more than 3 or 4. Thought maybe we could give away 12 a year. Now we give away 150 to 200. But and you know, the truth is that that's why it takes so long, is that we do this all with volunteers, and there's just so much that they can do each and every year. It takes a couple of $1 million and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears from about 30 to 40 volunteers.
Why did this become such an important thing to do for our veterans?
Well, the truth is without the Segs for Vets program, there isn't any other way they would have the opportunity to interact with society standing. They would be relegated to either living a life that is of diminished independence and diminished quality.
Tough play for Colton Wong, and he makes it. But you're talking about independence and literally standing and being upright, something we take so much for granted.
And the impact of that is not just physical, because it's tremendous,
sure,
the benefits of standing, but the mental benefits. You know, where the mind goes, the body follows, and the mind is the most important thing that we attack.
And Jerry, these are expensive. They're tough to acquire because of the money that's involved. How much are these individually?
Well, you know, it cost us about $9,700 for the average award. They range from about $7,000 to $15,000, depending upon the modifications that we got to make.
The catch made by Holiday.
And, you know, that's a lot of money, but I'm going to tell you something. Because we do it all with volunteers, we do it about 25 cents on the dollar. It cost them $35,000 to $40,000 if the federal government had to do it. And they don't have the money for it. There's no funding there. So this is the only option. We do it with volunteers. And you know what? Sometimes Americans, through their graciousness and their charitable giving, can make a difference where government can't.
This is the pitcher, Bronson Arroyo. Where can people donate? What's the website or phone number to go to?
They can go to www.segs4vets.org, SEGS, numeral 4, VETS.org. Go to the website. There's an 800 number on there. If you're local, you can call 314-965-4938. We can tell you where to send your check. Or you can go on the website, donate with your credit card. We're happy to have the help.
It's making an amazing impact with those that serve our country as Arroyo strikes out. I always look forward to this night to see you.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. And thanks again to the Cardinal Nation for all the support they give our wounded warriors.
God bless what you're doing, and you and your family.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. TV on your device virtually anywhere with AT&T Uverse, mobilizing your world. And by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer for 75 years. It is an amazing program. And again, the number locally to call, SEGS for Vets, area code 314-965-4938 to donate, or to find out more how you can help, 965-4938, or head to their website, SEGS, SEGS, numeral 4, Vets, V as in Victor, ETS.org. Began in 2005, and Jerry has obviously impacted, and his staff, so many lives of those that protect us. Here's Matt Carpenter. Carpenter struck out looking his first time up. That sweeps in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the lineup here for St. Louis, and a 2-0 lead in the home half of the third.
You watch both these pitchers. They're wizards at changing speeds, working both sides of the plate, up and down, doing everything to confuse a hitter, disrupt their timing.
Al, it's called pitching, isn't it?
It is.
Not just rearing back and throwing it.
Yeah, Wainwright's showing you how to do it.
Off-speed pitch, and that's pulled foul to Chris Maloney.
Watch how many times these hitters really center the ball. And the last was an example where Carpenter, an outstanding hitter, just off his front foot, leaning, reaching.
Diamondbacks have been decimated with injuries to their team. Now, within the last calendar year, they have had 4 pitchers go down to Tommy John surgery. Tommy Reynolds, a lefty. Patrick Corbin, who has a huge upside, he's a lefty. Daniel Hudson, a righty, and David Hernandez, who worked out of their bullpen, and he was a good one. That ball is just crushed, but pulled foul.
That's what Arroyo can do. He can just keep you off balance to where all of a sudden you'll really hit a ball hard, but you won't keep it fair.
J.J. Putz is their closer. He's out with a sore forearm as well.
Addison Reed is their closer up today.
Ground ball hit sharply to second. Cliff Pennington, he's been busy tonight. Well, the Cardinals score 6, and they have 2 tonight. Any size drink at On the Run, just 50 cents the next day. Keep the savings going while you're there by grabbing a fresh all-beef hot dog, loading it with your favorite toppings, and pairing it with your favorite 50-cent drink. It's all at your nearest On the Run. Just a gorgeous night here in the Gateway City as this homestand continues. Cardinals will travel for 3 over the weekend against Bronson Arroyo's former team, the Cincinnati Reds, and then back home for another long homestand that begins with the Yankees on Monday, Memorial Day at 3.
It was a torturous first part of the season, first quarter of the season, basically, with so many road games for the Cardinals. But this homestand, which started with 19 out of 22 at home, you start feeling like you're making up for it.
I get a sense there's more of a buzz around this team, and part of that is because of Colton Wong. He brings some energy with his speed, but I think guys are finally feeling like, okay, I could get a little rest at home and caught up on some things that they need to, as Pennington makes a very good play.
Pennington has been very busy, so has Colton Wong. A hard hit ball, but right up the middle. Nice backhand by the young second baseman. Hyundai with our pitchers. Pennington playing shortstop last year.
Bounce from second to short. We saw him with the Oakland A's. We've seen him primarily in the American League.
Remember, he opened up the season. Is that right? Opened up the season in Arizona last year. And then I think we have not seen them since June this year. We don't see them again after this series here in St. Louis until the last weekend to finish the season out in the desert.
Yeah, we opened up last year at Bank One Ballpark against Kirk Gibson and the Diamondbacks. They finished up 500 last year, 81 and 81. Pete Kozma in that series hit his lone home run. Cardinals took 2 of 3. Three balls and no strikes on Holiday. He sent a single to center to begin a 2-out rally back in the first. Mentioned the Yankees will be in town. 3 o'clock will be the first pitch, and there's an hour-long ceremony that we'll carry for you on Fox Sports Midwest honoring the '64 champions. That'll be great to see some of the names and faces of the Cardinals past and that wonderful championship team of 50 years ago.
I was going to say, some people don't remember those guys other than reading about them 50 years ago, and they defeated the Yankees in that fall classic. Shannon was in that series and starred.
Fell behind 3-0, comes back to strike out Holiday. His third tonight. We'll jump ahead to the fourth when we come back. Back in St. Louis, the skyline of downtown.
Yeah, we're going to have a little delay right now. Our home plate umpire, Brian Nora, is going to be replaced. We noticed the last inning he went into the Cardinal dugout and he was getting some throat lozenges or something. Went back in this time, saw the first base umpire fall, and Adam was out on the mound along with all of his teammates. They were ready for the inning to start, and not good timing right here. Dave McKay's talking with the umpires, but they will have a change.
So we'll tell you about the change with the umpires when we come back. We're in the fourth inning. Redbirds on top. how you finish. And we have a comparison here between 1985, that was such a fun team to watch, and the 2014 team. A lot of similarities with these clubs.
Right. See, after 39 games, they had the identical record. Then they reached 21-20 before a 3-game series versus Atlanta, and they finished, both teams, 23-21 after we finished the Cardinals winning 2 out of 3 against Atlanta this weekend. The 85 team went on to win 101 games and reach the World Series. And remember that was the year that John Tudor got off to the 1-7 start, and then won 20 decisions basically after that point. This went on to have the great year. Vince Coleman, Rookie of the Year that year.
Well, the speed of that team. Tommy Herr had a huge season in RBIs.
Had less than 10 home runs and had over, I think, 108 RBIs, something like that.
A packed house, and we're waiting on the umpiring situation because Wainwright is in a groove. As we wait for the umpiring situation to get resolved. Well, before the game with Jim Hayes, Shelby Miller was Jim's guest, and one of the questions asked by Jim was the impact of Adam Wainwright on this franchise and the staff.
He is always locked in, always focused. The way he goes after hitters, can give up a couple runs and not show any emotion, just try to get the next hitter out. And on the mental side, I think that's where he's better than a lot of us younger guys. And, we try to take off their window as much as possible. At least I do. And try to learn something from him. You do almost every day. And, right now it's me working on a sinker with him and just really trying to get the confidence in that pitch. And he's been a big help for that.
Slim Sally at 106 wins, and Wainwright will tie good old Slim for 8th on the Cardinals all-time wins list with his next victory. So far tonight, he's ahead 2-0 as we wait here in the 4th inning. And the unfortunate part of what's going on now is that Adam Wainwright went out, warmed up, and now he goes back in the dugout and just sits.
Well, there's no doubt that Adam Wainwright was locked in, but you also heard Shelby Miller say what separates him from the younger starters is the mental aspects of the game. I don't think there's any better prepared for this disruption than Adam Wainwright. He was on the mound. He did make his warm-up tosses, and then they decided to change the umpires. And I think Adam's going to be able to hold on and go out there and do it. But a lot of other guys would mentally let this get to him.
Well, Cardinals starters with 100-plus home starts and the big winning percentage and an ERA that's below 3. Dizzy Dean, Harry Brackeen, and Adam Wainwright select company for the Cardinals righty Adam Wainwright. You know, something we should bring up too, when Adam Wainwright goes out to warm up, he is a guy that is very judicious in how he warms up. It's not max effort. It's more just get the arm loose and not wasting bullets, so to speak. I mean, he's the kind of guy, and he does that in his side sessions too. So it's not something that you would think would be all that taxing. It's just right now, just a disruption in the flow of this game.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, because most guys go out there and air it out in preparation. There are 8 warm-up tosses. You know, Adam's only thrown 30 pitches in this game. So to have this disruption, to have this delay, and here we see Marvin Hudson, who was the second base umpire, will now work behind the plate, and I'm sure they'll have a 3-man umpiring crew. Brian Honora, the crew chief, was the one that felt ill and could not continue, and so the last thing, you know, Brian Honora or the umpires wanted this delay. It's just unfortunate.
And Al, in this situation, Wainwright, I would assume, just gets as many as he would need normally between innings.
But the same thing, he's so mentally locked in. I'm sure it'll be the same 8 maximum. And you can just see the way he's throwing. He just kind of, you know, he's not really extending. He's not using his legs as much. Just kind of throwing. It'll gradually increase a little bit. And I'm sure what Mike Matheny is saying is, I want my pitcher to be able to throw as many pitches as he needs to feel comfortable. And with Wainwright, I just don't think it's that many.
Marvin Hudson, a longtime umpire. This is his 15th season in the big leagues.
Adam already said, throw down.
Krispy Kreme doesn't deal. If your St. Louis Cardinals get 9 hits tonight, you're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow, and you'll receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. So stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal. And the Cardinals have 3 hits so far tonight. Let's get you caught up. If you're just joining us, Matt Adams with 2 outs back in the first inning. A 2-run homer and a happy fan. And that's the scoring here tonight. The disappointing aspect of what's happened here, outside of a disruption of the game, the strike zone for Brian Honora. I was enjoying seeing it.
We liked it. Might have been part of the problem with his illness. But there you see the first pitch was an Brian Honora strike. The second pitch is Marvin Hudson's strike zone. So Brian Honora was giving inside to the left-handed batters. Looks like Marvin Hudson's going to give the pitch away. They're going back in.
Chased a pitch up. Parra grounded out to second his first time up. He's put the ball on the ground 89 times this season, 4th most in the big leagues.
He's got great speed. He should hit down on the ball.
This is low and away, and it's 2-2.
And Adam trying to expose that speed. You saw him, got him to swing at that pitch that was up in his eye level.
Back to Wainwright. Steps, throws for the out. Saturday, a full day of Major League action, beginning with the Rangers taking on the Tigers on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the season premiere of Baseball Night in America on Fox. Cardinals battle the Reds. MLB doubleheader begins Saturday at 2:30 on Fox Sports 1. Continues with the Cardinals and the Reds at 6, only on Fox. Here's Chris Owings. He was the Pacific Coast League MVP a season ago. Battled with D.D. Gregorius. May remember that name, a shortstop that has a lot of upside. Beat him out coming out of spring training. And he is the shortstop right now, off to a good start, hitting .291 at the start of play. And a fly ball. Long way to go for Craig. That'll drop foul. 0-2. He was called out on strikes back in the first.
Chris Owings did reach the big leagues last year and hit .291 in 20 games with the D-backs. And he was the National League Rookie of the Month for the March-April first month of the season.
Here's the 0-2. Wainwright, you can just tell when Molina, a couple of these hitters, is set up outside. Adam has been precise in hitting that outside corner on the right-handed hitters.
Well, Adam just has been great this season. Somehow he's gotten 2 losses, but
took a no decision last time. That pitch was up. That was the game the Cardinals won 4-3 in 12 innings over Chicago.
But he was in line for the victory before a blown save. You know, if you exclude the Cubs, the 2 starts he had against the Cubs, Adam has allowed only 3 runs in 6 starts. And overall, that ERA right now is at 2.
So under Kirk Gibson this season, they began 8-22. Since that time, they played 4 games above the 500 mark, and they have a new boss in Tony La Russa.
Already had an impact on the ball club. They're 2-0 since he's been named basically what, the CEO of baseball operations.
That's the title, and both the GM Kevin Towers, who's never been fired, and Kirk Gibson, the manager, report to that man right there, Tony La Russa.
Doesn't miss the dugout, but misses the competition.
The 2-2 off the end of the bat. Tony is 69 and has made it clear, whether it's Kirk Gibson or whomever would be in that dugout leading this team, not to look over their shoulder and expect him to come down and get back in uniform. He does not want to do that.
Currently, my understanding tonight, he's in Visalia watching one of their A-ball teams. He'll take a tour of the entire Diamondbacks organization, try and get a good read on what they have, what they don't have. And of course, you know, Dave McKay is the first base coach here at the big league level, but Dave Duncan, his longtime pitching guru, is in the organization as a pitching advisor, and the first man that ever hired him to be a field manager at the big league level, Roland Heeman, is a senior advisor to the ownership.
2-2. Hit towards third and a foul ball. Good at bat here by the second place hitter, Owings. 9 pitches in the second, 9 in the third, and already 10 pitches in this bat alone to the Diamondbacks shortstop.
Give Owings a little credit. He's had some unbalanced swings and off his front foot and everything, but fighting his way, getting a little piece of it, keep the bat alive, waiting for that mistake.
The 2-2. Little flare into shallow right. Colton Waugh makes the catch. 11 pitch at bat, and Wainwright wins that battle. Download the new McD app for great deals sent directly to your smartphone. Right now, get a free large sandwich with any purchase just for downloading. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Was called out on strikes to end the top of the first. Leads all of Major League Baseball, 59 hits. 4th in all of baseball, 35 runs scored. 18 doubles. That's tops in the big leagues. This guy is a hitting machine.
You kind of heard about him coming up through the system. Then when he got to the big leagues, it was legendary power.
The 1-1 off the end of the bat, and it's 1-2.
Second last year in the National League MVP balloting. From all indications, just a real solid person.
In the hole here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. They thought they had a great 1-2 punch. Goldschmidt, Mark Trumbo, who's picked up from the Angels, and Trumbo's been out with a stress fracture in his left foot. That's a 2-month recovery. In the air, deep right center. Jay will look up, and it's off the wall. The first hit tonight for Arizona. It's a double for Goldschmidt. Now with 19 this year to lead all of baseball.
Little indication how strong he is when you just see him really just kind of flick his wrist. Little breaking ball hits it right off the end of the bat, and that's why it only carried about 400 feet and off the wall.
Only.
He hit that a couple inches further in on the sweet part of the bat. And when I went off the Cordoba side.
Miguel Montero doesn't get enough credit for just how good of a player he is. Very good catcher, durable. For 1,000 innings caught last 3 seasons. And he takes a ball down and in. Leads all catchers, 42 games, approaching 370 innings, which also would be tops in baseball. You know, it's interesting. Yadier Molina has always looked at Montero as the benchmark at times for innings caught. You see the miles per hour off the bat for Goldschmidt. But it really is up to the manager to go to that player and say, no, you need a day off. We need to save your legs. Keep you fresh when we can.
And I would say with this year that Mike Matheny did not plan to have Yachty miss as many games as he has already. Remember, he had about a streak where he caught Lance Lynn 3 or 4 times. Talking about Tony Cruz giving Molina a day off, but you'll see that he's able to go to the well every single day with Yadier Molina.
Here's a 1-2 hit out of play.
And Dan, that was the kind of player that Mike Matheny was. You know, when he was catching prior to Yachty coming up, Mike expected to be in there every single day. Got to take good care of yourself on and off the field. Got to want to do that.
I mean, if you go to a player and say, do you need a day? You would like, ideally, the player to say, well, sure, I'll take the day off if they need it. But 99 out of 100, a player is going to say, I feel great. I'm ready to go. And that's where it's up to the manager to make that decision for him. Off-speed pitch, and he strikes out Montero. Strikeout number 5 for the big righty, Adam Wainwright. Cardinals have the heart of the lineup coming up. Adams, Molina, and Craig. 2-0 St. Louis. This is. Cardinals took 5 of 7 against the Cubs and Braves. So now you save $15 off select tickets for the upcoming series against the Royals. That's June 2nd and 3rd, and the Mets June 16th, 17th, and 18th. So those tickets are only $4. $4 tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. So $4 tickets tomorrow at 10 a.m. And you can get those at cardinals.com/win. Here's Matt Adams.
You have to think over the last 2 or 3 years, the Cardinals have had such great winning percentages during those ticket sales. And that's how you get them out of a funk.
As Adams goes down to get it, and coming on to make the play is A.J. Pollock. So Matt is 1 for 2. Here's Yadier Molina with 1 out, nobody on. A breaking ball hammered down the left field line, and that ball is fair. Yadi on his way to second base, standing up with a 1-out double.
Looked like Yadi had to be looking for that breaking ball to hit that ball with authority and somehow keep it fair. His body was leaning way out in front of the plate. As see him reach out there, it was a hanger, and he just explodes on that pitch. But you worry a lot of times you hit a ball like this, you pull it foul. His buddy Albert Pujols was one of the best at keeping the ball fair, and Yadi does it too. It's his 10th double of the year.
Alec Craig grounded out to second, but an RBI opportunity here.
Got the ball in on Allen the last time up. No ground ball to second base. A lot of clubs have been working him inside.
Ground ball that stays fair. Martin Prado makes the play as Molina advances from second to third.
He's so smart a base runner, isn't he? Doesn't have great speed, but he has great instincts. And he watched all the way. He watched this ball go to the third baseman. You see him right there. He's got a circle. Once he threw the ball, he comes on over, and Goldschmidt doesn't even try to throw over.
Instincts, baseball smarts are second to none.
Grew up in the baseball family, not only his older brothers, but also his father, Puerto Rican Hall of Famer.
Peralta lines it into left center field. A 2-out RBI base hit. That goes to the wall. Yadi scores. And Peralta has himself an RBI double to make it 3-0 Cardinals.
#19th RBI for Peralta. And seems like when he gets a hit, it's usually an extra base hit. Leads the ball club with his 8 home runs. Now he picks up his 10th double. Trying to get in on him, but he's off the plate and muscles it out into left center, out into the gap, and the Cardinals get another run.
Now it's John Jay. 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball pulled foul. See the Cardinals being very aggressive early in counts as we play here in the home half of the fourth.
Like most pitchers, a lot of times you're going to try and just get ahead, a lollipop breaking ball. When he gets 2 strikes on you, he kind of starts inventing pitches at different angles and release points. So early in the count, you're probably going to get pitches that look like a normal pitcher. But he'll change if this continues.
The 0-2. He strikes out John Jay. Well, Johnny Peralta picks up the RBI, number 19 this season. Rounding first on his way to second. The Cardinals with a 3-run lead. Prado, Pollock, and Ross due up here in the top of the 5th against Adam Wainwright. Johnny Peralta moments ago, 2-out RBI double. All the runs tonight for St. Louis scored with 2 outs. Peralta now with 39 hits. 18 of the 39 have been extra base hits. Martin Prado. Wainwright is allowed 1 hit. It was a double off the wall, off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt in the 4th.
Prado, last 8 games starting to come alive with a 344 average, but surprising no home runs. 14 home runs a year ago, 36 doubles, career high 82 RBIs, and they're kind of wondering where his power's gone.
Prado was taken out of the game on Sunday dealing with blurred vision. Broken bat that's hit to Adams. Wainwright is there, beats him to the bag for the out. Some of the biggest names on the mound are pitching for their respective teams in Major League Baseball tonight. Justin Verlander, the 6 innings, 5 earned runs. Johnny Cueto, first time we've seen him roughed up a bit. Giovanni Gallardo against Atlanta. Tanaka, 4 innings, couple of runs, and Francisco Liriano off to a rough start here in 2014.
Cardinals could make up some ground in the Central Division tonight as Baltimore is leading late 7-2 over the Pirates. Washington leads Cueto and the Reds 9-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Still 5-0. Braves over Milwaukee in the 7th.
Breaking ball and a strike. A.J. Pollock was called out on strikes back in the 2nd. I'd like to see Tanaka pitch here in St. Louis, but if he's going tonight, that puts him potentially for Sunday, depending if they have an off day or if they push him back.
Well, we'll see.
Yankees in town beginning on Monday. Short turnaround for the Cardinals. They'll play on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. There's a foul ball. And then fly back from Cincinnati to St. Louis. And a 3 o'clock start time on Memorial Day, Monday.
Pollock was just named the National League Co-Player of the Week.
Strikeout number 6 tonight for Adam Wainwright. Saturday, June 14th, Busch Stadium hosts the 10th annual Purina Pooches in the Ballpark Day. To celebrate, a limited number of additional tickets have been released, so come enjoy a ball game with man's best friend beside you. Tickets on sale now at cardinals.com/pooches. Strike to Cody Ross, who said it was just an emotional home run for him on Sunday, running the bases. His first home run of the season, as he came back from devastating hip injury, and he pops out to the Cardinals shortstop, Johnny Peralta. Baseball in the inner cities, and you can help by golfing in the Ted Savage RBI Golf Classic. That's June 10th. Cardinals alumni will be there, led by Lou Brock, Ozzie Smith, Whitey Herzog, and foursome still available. Here's Adam Wainwright on the first pitch, pops it up, and Goldschmidt with the play.
Nice play by there. The real slugger, but shows his versatility. Goes back on that ball and hauls it in.
Sign up for that golf tournament. It's June 10th. It's cardinals.com/RBI golf. Nice play. Jason Mott has made his way to a familiar position as Matt Carpenter takes strike one. Carpenter has been called out on strikes and then also grounded out to second.
touched on it a little bit earlier, Dan, but with all the strikeouts of Matt Carpenter, I think it's more times than not he's just disagreed with the strike zone of the home plate umpire.
Little chopper towards second. Pennington makes the play. Tell you about our What's On Tap, brought to you by Budweiser. Brandon McCarthy off to a terrible start. 1-6 ERA over 5 against Michael Wacha. 3-3, 2.82 ERA, coming off a win. And that's our Budweiser What's On Tap. Colton Wong twice is grounded out to Cliff Pennington at second base. Mary Lou Feeler, St. Charles, Missouri, resting comfortably tonight. Favorite player is Adam Wainwright. Never misses a broadcast on Fox Sports Midwest, and she'll enjoy that. A base hit for Colton Wong. And that one is for you, Mary Lou. Hope you're doing okay, and I hope to see you at the ballpark very soon.
That's the 4th double for the Cardinals tonight. They've had 5 of their 6 hits have been extra base hits. And Colton Wong has hit in all 4 games that he's played in since returning to the big leagues. Nice piece of hitting right there. His speed, he's out in scoring position. Hits the ball club with his 5 steals.
Holiday has singled and scored. That was in the first. Was ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes in the third, and Arroyo came back to strike him out. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes Wong. He'll score. And again, the theme tonight for the Cardinals. 2-out RBI base hits. 4-0 St. Louis.
25th RBI for Holiday, leads the ball club. And he's just 9 RBIs away from becoming the 17th man active to have 1,000 RBIs. So hopefully he will get that in the record books this homestand. But he hits the ball so hard, just powers it through the infield, right through the box. Bronson Arroyo, who's a pretty good fielder, he's won a Gold Glove in his pass, and he couldn't react and get that glove down quick enough, and Wong is quick enough to come around the score.
Now it's Matt Adams. A pitch that's taken inside. Middle of the lineup doing some damage here. The home run back in the first for Adams, measured at 407 feet. And that was his 3rd this year. RBIs 14 and 15. Arroyo, the 2nd active leader in home runs allowed behind Mark Burley, the St. Charles native, pitching for Toronto and off to a very good start. Mark Burley is throwing 84 to 86. I watched one of his starts the other day, but he works so fast. He hits his spots, changes speeds, and just gets people out.
It's below the major leaguer's comfort zone. You know, they just can't wait. And as you say, he hits the spot, so he's smart enough. They can figure out where a hitter's swing pattern, where he likes the ball, where his weaknesses are.
Now, there were a couple of times he literally was getting the ball back and started his motion. As the ball would hit his glove, he would step back. As Adams hits it out to deep right. Is it fair? It is just foul.
You were saying?
So anyway.
Don't interrupt us, Matt.
Yeah. Barely a foul ball.
It's hard to tell there, isn't it?
Let's go by the reaction of the fans. Not many say.
Right.
But very hard to tell. But Burley would be getting the ball back from his catcher. And literally, as he's catching it, starting to step back when he was working out of the windup.
Well, next time you work with Tim McCarver, you can ask him about doing that with Bob Gibson. Bob would be in motion and would be ready to throw, and all of a sudden he would balk because he said, "No, Timmy, not that one."
Hit the other way, deep. Ross back in front of the track. It makes the catch. Doubles a theme tonight. John Jay, the left center of the second inning. Molina, Peralta. Moments ago, Cote 2-out RBIs as well. 4-0 Cardinals. by 5-Hour Energy, which recognizes those who, despite their own needs, put others first. And find a helpful servicing steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. Cliff Pennington, and then the pitcher spot. And the top of the lineup against Adam Wainwright. Top of the 6th, and a 4-run St. Louis lead. Wainwright has allowed just one base hit and a strike.
He's retired 15 of 16 batters, and this is as dominant of a pitching performance as you'll see.
He's doing it with 2 different home plate umpires, as Marvin Hudson had to take over for the crew chief Brian O'Nora, so we have a 3-man crew. First base umpire, third base umpire, and the home plate umpire. Here's the 0-2. Goodbye, and another strikeout for Adam Wainwright. Rack him up. That's 7.
Putting on a clinic out there as he's just working both sides of the plate, in and out, changing speeds. And when you throw this many strikes, you'll get the benefit of some close pitches.
So no second base umpire. They'll rotate particular plays if need be. As Bronson Arroyo looks at a breaking ball and a strike. He struck out. That was back in the 3rd.
Now Bronson also is a good hitting pitcher.
Nothing at 2.
Wainwright, knowing Bronson's reputation as a good hitter with 6 career home runs, he's pitching like a position player.
Popped up, out of play. Cardinals picked up a 2-run homer from Matt Adams. That was in the first. A 2-out RBI double by Johnny Peralta in the fourth. And Matt Holliday single up the middle with 2 outs to score Colton Long back in the fifth. On the outside corner and a strikeout. 8. And he's struck out 3 of the past 4. Fans, you can follow every Cardinals game with MLB.com @bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv, game of the day, and so much more. Find it at Cardinals.com. Six of the 8 have been called third strikes. Season high is 9 strikeouts. That was his opening day assignment against the Cincinnati Reds. 1 away from matching that. His career high is 12. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gerardo Parra, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts.
Came in 3 for 9 off of Adam Wainwright and possessing a 12-game road hitting streak.
One and 2. With the kind of command that he is ahead in the count. These hitters are left guessing what's next.
And I think the way Adam is pitching right now, these hitters walk up thinking they're batting 0-2. Yachty looking there and make sure he doesn't peek. Fastball away.
Got him. A strikeout. Strikes out the side here in the 6th. A dominant performance. He has matched his season total in terms of strikeouts for a single game. It's up to 9 and counting. Stan McNeil at FoxSportsMidwest.com as he'll catch up with Matt Carpenter, FoxSportsMidwest.com. Here's Yadier Molina, 1 for 2. In the air, left center. Pollock is back at the wall. What a catch! And he holds on. What a play, A.J. Pollock robbing Yadier Molina.
Not about it. They've got great speed in this outfield. And Pollock showed off his speed right there. Yachty put a charge in that one. And Watch this young man. He catches it. He's got a stride to kind of prepare for the wall. Look at the ball pops out of his glove, and then he catches it as he's falling down. Ball pops up and re-grabs it and holds on.
The fans are seeing that right now on the video board. It's what makes this place special. The opposition getting the ovation from the fans here in St. Louis. What a play.
And that the Cardinal fans are recognized. Sure, they want to see their team win, but they will always appreciate the opponent's, hard work, their good plays that they make, and they always signal them out, and that is not lost on visiting teams.
Alan Craig is 0 for 2. Grounded out to second, grounded out to third. I don't know about you, but I didn't expect this team to hit a lot of home runs, and they haven't. But I did expect them to hit a lot of doubles, and that's what my feelings were coming into the season. And tonight they've hit 4 doubles, but even at times that's been missing this year.
Most definitely. Cardinals have not hit like they did last year with runners in scoring position. Haven't had the extra base hits. Yeah, they thought they would make up some of Beltran's home runs with a full year of Adams at first base. Return to a healthy Alan Craig.
3-2.
It really doesn't matter whether you do it home runs as long as you get those runs scored. Home runs are glamorous, and they add up quickly. Last year the Cardinals didn't hit many home runs, and they led the National League in offense.
And a ground ball, but that's off the foot of Craig. So a dead ball. Had the chance to MC the Jack Buck Parkinson's golf tournament dinner last night. Big crowd, sold out, raised well over $100,000 for Parkinson's research. One of the items that we auctioned off is poem that was signed by the late great broadcaster of the Cardinals. The poem of the return of baseball after 9/11. 3-2 pitch. Goodbye. The strikeout of Alan Craig. He is hitless tonight. Talk about movement and freezing a hitter. That's what Arroyo just did.
That ball looked like it was coming right at Alan Craig. He flinched, and then the ball breaks to the outside corner. Arroyo, no doubt, he can be very, very tough, and is capable of throwing a gem. Just he's in a bad matchup today against Adam Wainwright.
2 outs. Johnny Peralta. Has it been a slow start average wise for Johnny Peralta? Yes, but if you project the numbers out for Peralta, and we're just past the quarterway point of the season, project out the power numbers, you would take them, especially from your shortstop.
Yes. You expected him, maybe what, hit 15 to 20 home runs. You were hoping for maybe 70 to 80 RBIs.
In the air, left center. Pollock won't get that one. Long gone. Launch that baby out of here. 9th home run for Johnny Peralta, and a 5-run lead for St. Louis.
Now with nine home runs and 20 RBIs. 9 home runs lead the ball club. But Wainwright can't wait to go hit, and he got a little insurance from his shortstop. That was as far as we've seen a ball to left center also.
You bet.
Good 25 rows deep.
Pollock. A ball that was sinking off the bat of John Jay makes the play. Major League Baseball in St. Louis. Great catch here by Pollock. Showing some great defensive skills. And Johnny Peralta, another extra base hit. 5-0 St. Louis. In 44 feet. A 5-run lead for St. Louis. As we move to the top of the 7th, that's the hit speed, which is a big measuring tool in Major League Baseball. That gentleman. Oh, that photo to the AT&T fan photo. That gentleman caught that souvenir off the bat of Johnny Peralta. Chris Owings, Paul Goldschmidt, and Miguel Montero.
That's who was with Fredberg?
That was who was with Fredberg recently.
In the AT&T photo there? You had your head down.
Oh, I saw it. Some of our younger fans.
You did see it.
I did.
I just looked at tonight. Adam Wainwright came in 5th best ERA in the National League. Currently, he sits at 3rd. He is moving up the ladder on all the important statistics.
Owings with a fly ball. Right field. Craig backs up. Puts it away. Out number 1.
Adam. Innings pitched. He started at 4th. He's now in 2nd place. He's got a chance to go into 1st place with a complete game here tonight.
I wonder if part of that conversation with Derek Lilliquist and Mike Matheny is looking ahead. Now, he's at 80 pitches. You'd say, well, if he's efficient, sure. Could he complete this game? I don't think there's any doubt. He has been great here tonight. However, is this the kind of game where you buy Wainwright an inning, let him go 8, which the Cardinals have done in a couple of starts where he could have completed games, and let Jason Mott make his season debut? Big lead. Go out there, get the handshakes at the end of a game. Might be something they're thinking about.
Well, it's definitely to think about. There you see Jason, who that he ride into the ballpark today realized it was a little different what he's been doing the last year. Sit out an entire year recovering from Tommy John, and nobody knows about all the hours you put in the training room working with a therapist.
Goldschmidt pops it up a mile high. Alan Craig. 2 down. Adam Wainwright has allowed 1 hit tonight. He has matched his season high in strikeouts with 9, and mentioned earlier that 6 of those have been caught looking, so that tells you about the movement he's had in fooling these hitters that have not been able to pull the trigger. That matches his season high which was set back in 2012 against Houston in terms of caught looking. On the outside corner, he is just painting right now. Miguel Montero at the plate. Tremendous ratio here for Wainwright. 84 pitches, 64 have been strikes. And the 0-1.
And just shows you how mentally tough he is. When he went out, took his warm-up tosses for the 4th inning, then had to go and sit down as they changed the umpire. Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, feeling ill, and at what, 10-15 minutes it seemed like for the umpires to change, and that was the only inning he's really had a problem. The only inning, well, they had a problem, they got a hit, but 26 pitches. Remember, there was the Chris Owens, who probably one of the leading candidates for the National League Rookie of the Year, had an 11 pitch at bat that inning. Adam is, with the strikeouts tonight, has moved into 4th place, right ahead of Michael Wacha. How about this? Started the night with the best earned run average at night in the National League. That was at 0.90. So that's going down considerably. And on the road is ERA, which is 1.88. So I mean, he's putting himself in line for that Cy Young again. Finished 2nd last year.
Three and two.
Just the first three ball count we've seen tonight. Well, the other one possibly could have been the Chris Owens.
Molina setting up outside. Wainwright.
What, did he hit a spot?
It's been like that. I mean, every time that Molina's moved the glove. I mean, he is precise here tonight.
And it looked like he actually put the, was set up outside out of the strike zone, which sometimes he does too, but that pitch was just absolutely perfectly placed. Guy wants it inside fastball.
The 3-2.
Over the middle, but.
Well, Al, you have a situation here where it's an extra day's rest. Clearly, Wainwright has benefited from that. Some pitchers, creatures of habit, they don't like it, but looks like this has been to the benefit of Adam.
Yeah, when you go through the course of the season, and this is his 10th start, it's a good time to pick that a little extra rest. Curveball.
We'll do it again. Wainwright has 8 double-digit strikeout games in his tremendous career. Career high is 12. He's done that 4 times.
He's a little old-fashioned in the sense that he doesn't go out there with that mindset, I'm going to strike everybody out. He will go out there trying to pitch to contact, trying to get early outs in the count. And if he gets to 2 strikes, then he can work on that strikeout. Another curve.
Popped up into center field. Jay is there. Let's stretch. Cardinals having some fun behind Adam Wainwright tonight. Happened here tonight. The Cardinals with 6 extra base hits, a couple of home runs, one by Matt Adams, a 2-run shot, and also a home run by Johnny Peralta. Wainwright, 7 innings, 1 hit. He started this game as he'll lead it off for the Cardinals in the home half of the 7th. He started this game by retiring 11 straight. Then it was a double off the top of the wall in right center by Paul Goldschmidt. His lone hit he has allowed. He's now in a stretch of 10 in a row. He is set down. He has struck out 9. Arroyo to Wainwright. Strike 1 underway in the home half of the 7th.
Wainwright, I believe, has 93 pitches thrown. 70 are strikes. Looking for his first hit. Average is falling down to 348.
Bronson Arroyo signed a 2-year contract after the Cincinnati Reds said goodbye. Arizona wanted him for leadership and also durability. That's something that you can count on for the most part, despite the back injury earlier this season. As you alluded to, he probably came back sooner than most thought. But he takes great pride in keeping himself in shape and taking the ball every 5th day and providing innings.
My understanding, he only threw 7 innings in spring training. And then he got, they aren't sure whether it's the valley fever, which is kind of a mystery illness out there in the desert. Remember Connor Jackson, promising young first baseman outfielder the Diamondbacks had, and basically ended his career.
Wainwright, a swing and a miss as he strikes out. 6 tonight for Arroyo. Matt Carpenter is hitless tonight. And again, you can read about Matt at Fox Sports, FoxSportsMidwest.com, and Stan McNeil with the article. Grinding through another major league season is Matt Carpenter. Twice he is grounded out to second and also called out on strikes as that floats in for a ball. One ball, one strike.
Grinder is a good description for Matt Carpenter. Hard worker. Made himself into a very good baseball player. Had an exceptional year a year ago.
That's fair. Inside the first baseline. It's another extra base hit for the Cardinals. As Carpenter will stop at second base. They know about the reputation of Parra, who had 17 outfield assists last year, and 15 of the 17 coming from right field.
Well, Matt Carpenter knows something about doubles. He hit 55 of them last year. Set a new Cardinal record for a left-handed hitter. Beat Musial's 53. And the Cardinals have done a pretty good job of runners in scoring position. Just a game of benches. Beyond the reach of Goldschmidt, down off the sidewall.
Ground ball and taken there by Goldschmidt. Steps on the bag. Advancing, it's Carpenter. Brings in Holiday. He's had a 2-hit night and extended his streak to 31 games. Making it on base here at home. Home runs. Nissan drives in the game. Matt Adams, a 2-run shot in the first. Then Peralta leading the club with number 9. Holiday 2 for 3, both hits to center field. He chops that one foul.
And slowly that average creeping up, 274 right now. It's a career 311 hitter, and he'll be over 300 again this year. Leads the ball club with 25 RBIs, and he has another one sitting out there for him.
Grounded sharply to third. Look what I found. Martin Prado takes a hit away from Matt Holliday. Cardinals have stranded four. They lead it 5-0. Midwest Live inside Cardinals Nation and a Bomberito Sports Update with Pat Paris. All right, Pat, thanks. Mazda game summary. 5-run lead for the Cardinals. Arroyo, 7 innings. Goldschmidt, the lone hit tonight for Arizona. Wainwright still in the game. And Matt Adams, a 2-run homer, set the tone in this game. That was back in the first inning. That's the Mazda game summary. The Diamondbacks will have Martin Prado here. And then A.J. Pollock and Cody Ross.
Good news as Cincinnati loses, but better news is Milwaukee loses again. They get shut out by the Braves 5-0. Gallardo takes the loss.
Cardinals could pull to within 2.5 with a win tonight. 10th sold out crowd of the season. Another crowd that's over 40,000. 42,252.
What happened? He didn't get a call on that breaking ball.
Fooled the umpire. The 2-1. It's pitch number 97. I would think that this would be the final inning for Adam Wainwright. We shall see.
You know, he's 6'7". He's so big and strong. He proved last year that pitch counts don't mean anything, as he was the leader in innings pitched in the National League. Oh, it's
not so much
as you said. No, I know what you're saying. The scenario of getting Mott in a ball game, that Adam could have 3, if not 4, complete games, and I'm including this one. He is fun to watch when he's in command like this.
The 3-2 pitch.
74% of his pitches tonight have been strikes.
Free and easy tonight too. It's not just pitch counts, but you look if reliever, or in this case Adam Wainwright, has been taxed at all as there's a ground ball. Couple of hops hit to Colton Wong. 11 in a row as the starters are beginning a trend of going deeper into games, and that's one way to save your bullpen.
Well, now you add Adam Wainwright to this list. You know, he's gone 7+ innings in this game, and when you do that, things normally will fall in place for your bullpen. You know, hitting becomes contagious, but so does pitching. These guys feed off of each other, and they get into that friendly competition.
There's strike one. He's been ahead in the count most of the night as well. Pollock has struck out twice. Both times have been looking. I alluded to the article that Bernie Miklasz wrote concerning the amount of pitches, the big three, just how much the bullpen at times have been used. Very telling piece by Bernie in the Post. And that's one of the things that you look at when you start breaking down numbers like he did. Think about the long haul of 6 months. It will catch up with you.
Well, it will. And here you see a breaking ball and just a little lazy fly ball to center field. But remember, you're also advocating that you give another inning to the bullpen. But it's a little different because you're talking specifically about Jason Mott, who comes off the disabled list today, and his return from Tommy John.
Two outs in the top of the 8th.
You know, Adam's such a professional and team player. He'll do whatever Mike Matheny wants, but
line drive, and Wong is there. 13 in a row for Adam Wainwright. Will we see him tonight? 5-0 St. Louis. Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Busy night here at the ballpark. You know it'll be a busy night across the street at Ballpark Village. Fox Sports Midwest Live as Bronson Arroyo is out of the game. If you're wondering, no activity. 0 at this point for the Cardinals in their pen.
Mike Matheny had a long discussion with Adam Wainwright, and so far it looks like he's not going to go to the pen. This is Trevor Cahill, his 12th appearance. He did make 4 starts. He's 1-5 on the year. But the real news right here in St. Louis is Adam Wainwright. Retired 24 of 25 batters tonight.
Little tapper off the bat of Matt Adams. Cahill steps and throws, one away. Brings in Yadier Molina. 50th anniversary for Emo's Pizza and the Cardinals 64 World Championship team. Celebrate both when the Yankees come to town. May 26th, 27th, and the 28th. Still seats available. That series is not sold out. A lot of fans are surprised to hear that, but not sold out just yet. Tickets remain at Cardinals.com. Molina shoots it foul. Strike one. Story tonight. 2 out RBIs. The doubles. And the outstanding pitching of Adam Wainwright, who has struck out 9, no walks. He's allowed just 1 base hit.
Cahill, 6'4", 222. From Oceanside, California, born there, lives in Scottsdale. 3rd year with Arizona. Primarily has been a starter. See the breaking ball.
Out of play. Arroyo 88 pitches tonight. Adam Wainwright is over 100, but dealing a 1-hitter. "17 complete games, 7 shutouts in his career. He has never thrown a 1-hitter.
Remember the game last year, Shelby Miller gave up a scratch base hit the first batter he faced and then retired 27 in a row. That's about the only game that you can think of that is in comparison to this. We've seen no hitters that are not as dominant as that performance or what Adam has done here tonight. Michael Walker knows something about 1-hitters, doesn't he?
I remember Anthony Reyes in Chicago, 1-hitter on the road against the White Sox, and that 1 hit was the difference in the game.
Tommy home run.
That's rolling foul as Cahill will touch it.
Was it the last game of the season that Michael Walker threw the no-hitter against Pittsburgh and gave us a little glimpse of what he had in store for us in the postseason?
It was Washington in regular season with the 1-hitter, and then Pittsburgh in the postseason.
Yeah. And he's a lonely man right now.
Two and two the count on Molina. Doubled and scored back in the 4th. Was robbed by A.J. Pollock. Sensational catch in center field. That was in the 6th. Ground ball right side and a base hit. Parra thought about it. He thought about it. He wanted to throw to first, and Goldschmidt waved it off.
Parra does have a 9-3 putout. Throw here, and it'd be a similar one like that with that great throwing arm. Somebody think of a pitcher or somebody not hustling down the line, and he gunned him out at first base.
I watched Yadi was hustling right away. He knew.
He knew.
Here's Craig, who is hitless tonight. Pulled out on strikes back in the 6th. It's grounded to second and grounded out to third.
There's a hit every spot in the order except for Alan Craig and the 9th spot, Adam Wainwright's. Cardinals have 10 hits. They've out-hit Arizona 10-1 in this game.
Last time that the Diamondbacks were held to 1 hit or less, 1999. Jose Jimenez is no-hitter.
Remember that little streak of Randy Johnson opposed Jimenez in the no-hitter. Then he had a tremendous game and lost something like a 1 or 2 hitter. And then I think the Cardinals, they came into St. Louis and there was a repeat where Randy turned up like a total of 5 or 6 hits and lost 3 games.
One and two the count. Craig seems lost here tonight. Two outs. Reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
I see Jason Mott is up and throwing in the bullpen. And you can see the way he's throwing right now. I would suspect that they've told Adam Wainwright, you start the inning. If you get in any trouble, then we'll make the decision whether we go to the bullpen or not. But we'll give you the first opportunity to complete the 1-hit shutout. Just a nice sight seeing Mott during a regular game throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Former closer. His comeback from Tommy John.
1-0 pitch to Peralta. He hammers it down the left field line.
Home plate umpire made that call, and you could easily tell that it was a foul ball.
And again, if you're just joining us, dealing with the 3 umpires after the home plate umpire, Brian Honora became sick, and so Marvin Hudson is moved behind the plate. That call going to Hudson.
Doug Eddings, our first base umpire. Corey Blazer is running around between second and third.
Hit to short and a forced play. Adam Wainwright, 1 hit allowed tonight. And he finished what he started. in his career. 7 shutouts. Adam Wainwright has 1 complete game this year. That was April 17th at Washington. He has never thrown a 1-hitter.
That was a shutout that game. There's been 2 or 3 other times where they wanted to give an inning to the bullpen, and he's been a team player and done so. But this one, it looks like they're going to give him the opportunity to finish it off. Mott is still throwing. He did kind of sit down. Now he's throwing a little harder in that bullpen.
Cliff Pennington at the plate. First pitch outside. Pitch count at 107 tonight for Adam Wainwright.
And Neshek has joined Mott in the Cardinal pen. Off day, a lot of relievers like to get a little throwing in. Kind of their prerogative, but Neshek has been outstanding. Nice little scoreless streak he's been running up.
The 1-1. Breaking ball taken there by Adams. He was near the line. Wainwright is there. Out number 1 here in the 9th.
You know, they teach you as a ball hit down the line like that, you've got to judge the speed of the runner, and you have to determine how you're going to go. Now on this ball right here, you better take a direct path, as you saw how close it was at the bag. So you run right towards the bag. If you have time, you can kind of run parallel with the first base line and, you know, kind of time that. But when that's a much more difficult play, because you got to race to the bag ahead of the runner and that receive that throw and step on the bag all in one motion.
Alfredo Marte, the pinch hitter, 14 in a row, set down by Adam Wainwright. There's strike 1. Wow.
Marte hadn't seen that pitch before. It was just recalled from AAA on May the 2nd. Hit .342, 5 doubles, a home run, 11 RBIs. And his 26 games at AAA.
Ground ball, broken bat, hit to short. 15 in a row. 1 out away.
.26 out of 27 batters Adams retired tonight.
Here is Parra. Strike 1. Back to Wainwright. He finishes what he started. One of the greatest nights he's ever had in a Cardinal uniform. A 1-hitter for Adam Wainwright.
Last Friday and Saturday we were talking about what complete games for the Cardinals. Well, erase that. This is the most complete game of the season. Great offense, great pitching, timely hitting, just a dominant performance by Adam Wainwright and his teammates.
Absolutely dominating night. What a performance. Our Budweiser player of the game, Adam Wainwright. The post-game show breaks it all down next.